Welcome to the Recovery Centered Podcast, the space for honest conversation about healing, hope, and the journey through mental health and addiction recovery. Each episode, we sit down with people making a difference, from therapists and researchers to change makers and to survivors. Now, to explore what recovery really looks like in the world. This podcast is produced in collaboration with Beachway Therapy Center. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Recovery Centered podcast. My name is Tim Roberto. I am your host, and I'm proud to be your host because we have incredible guests here every week, and I'm very fortunate. And I think the people that listen to the podcast are very fortunate. And our guest today is Jill, and I'll let you say the last name because
Shad.
so not only is it said
People.
appropriately,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a podcast, right? We split it 50-50.
Yeah.
So I start with your first name. I can get that.
Tim, that's brilliant.
Uh,
A lot of people added R in there. Burchard. Always.
R.
Yeah, Burchard, but it's Burchad.
Burchad. Is that like a
Mhm.
French heritage?
No,
or-
it's actually my husband's family. It was actually Burshadsky. They came from
Burshadsky.
Burshadsky in the Ukraine.
So Jewish,
Yeah.
a Jewish past, and they cut
Yeah.
it down a little
Yeah.
bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
With everything that was so crazy back then, right? A lot of
Right.
people were changing names and
Yes.
yeah.
So it was Burshadsky.
Yeah.
Super
Uh,
cool.
Oh, totally cool. Yeah, it's kind of like you. I'm so fortunate I met
No,
you.
I
and-
was about to say the same thing about you.
I
I
mean,
think
yeah.
you're so cool.
Yeah, well, we're gifted, right? We know so many wonderful people.
Oh my gosh.
And that's my goal, Jill. And the people, I've been doing this for a really long time, and they know my goal, and I know it's yours too. But just want to reach that one person that may just come across it and say, "Bing, it's exactly what I needed to hear." And
That's right.
you know what I mean? Like just that one person. So I always usually have a podcast before the podcast. So ours started like a half hour ago
It did.
on the cell phone. We were driving here, and Jill and I just started chatting. And I said, "Is there anything you don't want me to ask?" Out of respect, and I think it's the professional thing to do, professional courtesy. She is a licensed mental health counselor, so that has a level of respect to it, and I think just the right thing to do. Is there anything we were talking about that?
Right.
And then I was like, nah, I really never prepare. I just want us to have an old-fashioned conversation.
And what did I say to you?
You're like, exactly. And then you mentioned the name of your podcast, right?
Right. The Present Moment Project
The Present-
podcast. Right. And
Yeah.
that was my husband was starting a podcast,
Yeah.
and he was starting it after he was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and he never got to record his first episode.
Yeah.
He just recorded the trailer, but he called it the Present Moment Project because he learned in that moment that all he had was the present moment.
Yeah.
And that's all we have, all of us,
Oh my God.
is this moment.
Yeah, my whole life I struggled, with mental health and drug addiction, alcoholism, and by 11 years old, I couldn't stand how I felt. So it always had me, I say, pimped out. I work with a lot of young kids too, and it resonates with the young. They love it. What do you mean pimped out?
Well, you are super cool.
Well,
I
I
mean,
think so.
I think you're
I'm
cool.
pretty cool.
You just mentioned to me you have grandchildren.
I do.
How old are they?
One's gonna be almost 3, Willow, and
Willow.
yeah, and Asher is going to be 8 months. Yeah. So I got both the best worlds. I got the sweetest little.
Do they live near you?
Yeah,
I just imagine that you're a great grandpa.
because I live now.
Yeah.
You know
In the
what I mean?
moment.
And
In the moment.
well, the kids. I mean, I've practiced that discipline over the years, right? Based on my past, I was always in tomorrow, and if I wasn't in tomorrow, I was in yesterday.
Right.
I was never now. I was never present. I couldn't see it.
Right.
So today, I practice these little disciplines. That's part of
Right.
my recovery, and everybody has, I hope, some disciplines to
Mm-hmm.
improve the quality of their life. And one of them is when I'm with my the grandkids, because they have the incredible ability just to let it be now. Like everything's now for them. They haven't been programmed to be something they're not yet. they're
It's
very
so
present.
interesting because, well, 2 things, Luna, you know Luna,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And she has a 2-year-old. I spend a lot of time with them,
Yeah.
and that has been a part of my healing, is being with the 2-year-old and her other kids
Yeah.
as well. And the other thing, and it's just it's so joyful. It's just so it's just oh, I just love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other thing is I love babies and little kids, and I think exactly to myself what you just said. They have a whole life ahead of them. They're so pure and innocent, and they haven't been conditioned yet,
They're
right?
not attached to stuff
Right,
like we are. They might
right,
grab a doll or whatever, but they're not
right, right,
attached
right,
like adults.
right.
We get programmed to be something we're not. The world tells us otherwise, and then all that stuff. And nobody teaches it, I think, that everybody has worth.
Everybody has
But
worth.
no, a lot of systems don't
I
teach that.
know,
You know what I mean? So I'm always comparing myself to this person, that bird, and nobody's teaching me how to be authentic to myself. I'm perfect just the way I am.
I have to say you know, this is, I think, one of the biggest reasons I do what I do is
Mm,
because, uh, as somebody also, and we all are, right? We're all conditioned to feel a certain way about ourselves and how we relate to ourselves and the world and each other.
mm,
And it takes away our authenticity, who we really, 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 really are,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I have mentioned before, and and I'm not saying this in a way where I feel victimy at all. I do not
yeah.
whatsoever. My mother stopped talking to me when my husband passed away, and my husband passed away, right?
Mm,
It's almost 3.5 years. And it's only now, Tim, really, honestly, that I am able to live my authentic self. And it's not because my husband took away from that, it's that I was part of a partnership.
mm,
And I think it's really more about my mother
mm,
because she's really, in addition to other factors, of course, but my mom was a single mother. I lived with her. She had a lot of trauma. And so my lens became
mm,
her lens became my lens,
mm.
right? And I didn't grow up feeling authentic. I had to silence my voice. My needs were not important. And I'm sure that when you grow up like that, you grow up and you put other people's needs ahead of yourself.
100%.
You know that.
Yeah, 100%. I
As
did.
a
I did.
source of survival,
Correct.
as a source of safety,
Yeah.
right? And so, this isn't anything that my husband did to me. This is just who I was, right? And now that I don't have that, I really am figuring out who I am and how I want to show up in the world. And
Mm,
I just want to be myself. And I don't really think about, I really don't compare myself to people.
yeah.
It's too exhausting. And you know what? There's people who aren't going to like me, and there's people who are going to like me. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, but Jill, like if I was doing a session with you right now, I would say, Jill, it's really none of your business what people think about you.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And we know the old saying, right? Where when you put your nose where it doesn't belong, it gets something on it gets something on it, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not really sure I ever heard that.
You
But
what?
I love that. I'm not sure I really heard that.
Oh. Yeah, a lot of the people at Beachway always say we got a group of Timonisms today. I come up with all these crazy things. They still,
Love
I
it.
still have the privilege of doing a couple groups there a week. I'm very honored that
That's
they
awesome.
still let me do that. Yeah, they're my people. You know, I feel
I have to say this though, that I don't know, being authentic is very freeing. It's a very
it's the
empowering
best.
place to come from.
It's the best
It really is.
because in honor we can live our best life and we can be the best version of ourselves. When I'm acting, I'm doing just that. I'm acting like
Right. You know, I think of this one story from years ago in my life where, I came from divorced parents and my husband came from divorced parents, and it was Thanksgiving, and we would always talk about, okay, what should we do?
Mm,
We don't want to upset anybody. Should we go to this person or should we go to that person? And we were twisting ourselves up into a pretzel, trying to figure out what we can do to keep the peace and keep everybody happy. And
mm,
it I learned that it didn't matter what we chose, somebody wasn't going to be happy.
correct.
And that was a very big lesson for me because I said to myself, why am I twisting myself up into a pretzel, making myself sick, and doing something I don't even really want to do
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
when somebody ultimately is just not going to be happy with that
yeah.
decision? And so we made a decision and we started to travel
I love that.
for every Thanksgiving, and
Yeah,
it
I
was
love that.
lovely, and we were with friends,
Yeah.
and it was great. It
And you
was
didn't
great.
need a day off after the day off
Right,
to recuperate.
right,
You were with friends traveling, being you, doing you. I
right,
find a lot of people, like, they have Thanksgiving, a day off,
right.
but they need another day off from the day off they just had.
It's true.
All this family tension and toxicity and enmeshment, and
Right.
the kids are going crazy and nobody's disciplining them or nobody's correcting them. They're
Oh
kids.
my gosh.
It's
Yes.
insane. The
Yeah.
dogs are barking. Everybody. It's like, oh my god.
Well,
Like,
that does happen. We've now gone back to Thanksgiving. Last year we went. I was uh, so my mother stopped talking to me.
mm,
At the time, my dad was not speaking to me when my husband passed away. And when he heard that my husband passed away, he called me, and I hadn't spoken to him for probably over a year. Well, he hadn't spoken to me.
mm,
I don't really believe in the silent treatment.
mm,
And my father called me. I don't know if I've talked about this. I probably have. But he called me. It was maybe 3 days after my husband passed away. He happened to be on a cruise with his wife. And he called me and he said, I'm so sorry. I just heard about Adam, blah, 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 blah. And of course, I wasn't thinking to myself, I have to really be careful what I say. I don't, my father's in his 80s. Oh my gosh, I don't want to hurt his feelings. I want to be respectful. Like none of that came up for
mm.
me because that's what I did my whole life. And so I never really spoke my truth and I never really set those boundaries because all I really wanted was family. Right.
Yep.
And so, in
Yeah.
order to, again, have family and feel safe with that, I had to, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, I had to like modify my behavior.
Yeah. You were
Right.
walking on eggshells.
Right? And so he called me, and again, not at all thinking about how what I was about to
Mm,
say could affect my life or his or anybody else's. And I said to him, Dad, I am so happy that you called. I appreciate it so, so much.
yeah.
I said, and I have to tell you that if you have any intentions of ever treating me the way that you have my whole life, like I'm good. I'm good. We can say our farewells and
Mm.
I'm good. And I don't want it to sound like because my dad and I now, I feel like I have the biggest crush on him.
Oh,
He's going to
nice.
be he's 87, and it's not true that people can't change.
I
It
was
is
just
not
thinking to myself,
it's not true because I set that boundary and I meant it. I meant it
uh,
because I knew I couldn't take on anything else. I just couldn't. My husband had just passed away. I had 3 kids. I have 3 kids.
yeah,
I had so many things to take care of. I
yeah,
have so many things to take care of. I knew that was I couldn't do any more than that.
yeah.
And my father said to me, he said to me, "You will always be my daughter, and I will always be your father." And that's the end of it. And I have to tell you, I have watched my father change in his 80s. I
Amazing.
feel like we're in like I'm like so in love. All I want to do is spend time with
Hang out
him
with dad.
now.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
and and people think that it will never happen. People feel it will never happen. I didn't think this would ever happen. And again, I want to go back and I want to say my father wasn't abusive,
Mm,
right? He wasn't. Again, he's in his 80s. He came from a different generation. My parents were divorced. I lived with my mother, who was not the easiest. So my father wasn't the most involved and it was very superficial. It was very superficial. And
yeah,
now we talk about feelings.
yeah.
And I can be honest and I can tell him if he says something and I don't like it. And it's okay.
Yeah, it's a really cool story. It's like I was just thinking the whole time listening to you, like, yeah, man, it's one of those corny sayings, but they're so true. Like,
There's
it's
so
never too
many.
late to
It's
change.
not, and people say, "Oh, yeah, that will never happen. That will never happen." It has happened.
Yeah,
It has
yeah.
happened, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm just so grateful. Like, I know now what it feels like to have a nurturing parent
That's grace.
in my 50s,
That's
and I
grace.
love it, and
Yeah,
I don't think about the past,
yeah,
and I know it was really never about me. I
yeah.
know it
But
was never about me.
like, if you were the client, what would you say to yourself? Like, or what would you say to the client who just said the exact same thing?
Be
He
true
was
to who
giving you
you
the,
are.
but he was giving you the best he had at
He
the
That's
time,
exactly what I say. He
right?
was giving me the best he could, and
Yeah,
I always say you can't get water out of a stone.
yeah.
Although, I don't know, now I don't know, that stone is changing, I don't know what's happening
But
there.
people in general, AKA parents, right? Like, I mean, we're all just working on what we were given.
Absolutely,
Y- y-
absolutely, and Tim, I always say this is our first time doing life.
Yeah, and there's no book. When you were born,
No
the
book.
doctor didn't go to your dad. Hey, when this happens, go to
Right,
page one, whatever.
right,
Blah 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 blah. It's we're operating on what was given us.
right,
And you run
right.
into it just as much as I do. And this is no disrespect to any family member, any parent. It's just an adult conversation. Anybody can make a baby unless there's a medical condition. And
Absolutely.
this is where I'm just saying it as an adult because we need to change the conversation. It's so easy. Most of us do it with our eyes closed. That's how easy. But here's the thing, right? But not everybody can be a mom or a dad. And we don't blame. That's totally inappropriate because they're just operating on what was given them, just like me and you are
There's no
operating.
blame, I have no blame.
I know it's great, but
I have
that's
compassion.
yeah. But you see, gave yourself that gift. You allowed to have that gift come in instead of holding on to it. And like you said, I'm not playing victim here. You
I used to for many, many years, and
because you
that
were operating on what was given you.
I played victim for a lot of years, and it's not pleasant. It is
Yeah,
so exhausting, and it's just ick. It's
yeah,
just ick. It
yeah,
gives
yeah.
you the ick. It gave me the ick, and I didn't like it, and honestly, it didn't stop until I surrendered.
No, I love.
Until I
Oh man,
surrendered
imagine
truly.
surrendering. Holy cow.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
I just realized it wasn't gonna change. I had to be true to myself. I had to focus on my husband and my children and our family unit.
You have to make the move.
Mhm.
You have to make the move. And there's one of those corny sayings again that back in the day when I was all restless and frustrated. Hey, you people and all you're saying. But if nothing changes,
Nothing
nothing
changes.
changes.
Nothing changes. And going back to corny sayings, right? We talk about living in the moment,
Yeah,
and it's so easy to say, we got to be present. We have to live in the moment. And
yeah.
trust me, I am not always in the moment, especially after losing my husband. I never had even a glimpse of ADD.
Yeah.
Since my husband passed away, my brain is so incredibly different.
Mm.
And again, I just give myself grace and compassion. I'm not too worried about it. It is what it is. I'm showing up the best that I can.
Have you ever looked at it, Jill, like a wake up call?
Oh, yes.
Like everything really
Yeah.
is precious. Everything really is on loan.
Yes.
The
Yes.
rest of all.
But that was actually my point, is that it can sound so cliche. Come on, we have to be present. We have to live in the moment. And it's not easy to do that all the time when we have so many things flying at us all the time.
Yeah.
But it is the truth. And
Yeah.
if I can get anything across to people is people, listen up. We only have this moment. This moment.
Mm,
You don't know what's going to happen, and you think it's never going to be you? It
100%.
happens. It happens. I never thought this was going to be.
I'm 63. You know how many
I
times I
mean,
heard, I can't believe that, and I've said it
it's
thousands of times.
scary. It's scary. But I don't live with fear, right? I'm not
No,
like
acceptance,
I
right?
better. Yeah. It's just
Acceptance. It's
acceptance.
part of the deal. It's on loan.
Right.
You're in your 50s.
Right.
I'm early 60s. You know, I don't know about you. I'll speak for me.
I'm in my mid 50s, 55.
But, I feel I've had my turn in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
It's somebody else's turn now, AKA the young kid coming up, the teenager, the young adult. It's like their turn now.
Right.
It's part of the deal, man. It's either I go with it or I go against it, or I
Right.
either accept it, or, either I do it or it's going to do me.
Right.
There's all
Right.
these things, right? Like the grass is greener on the other side. No, it's
No.
green wherever you
It's
want.
really not.
Well, it's green wherever you water
It's
it,
not.
right?
Right.
Um, the cup's half full, the cup's half empty. It's like, well, who cares? There's something in it,
Right.
you know,
Right, right.
because
We have to work with what we have,
correct, but the
and
discipline,
we have to create what we want.
we have to be mindful. And the only way you can do that is if you practice now. You can say all these little things. Like for me, back in the day when I was coming out of the gate, I was 44, homeless.
Mm,
I got my wife, I was getting divorced. Signed my house over. State took my kids away from, like, all this insanity.
and look at you now. This is resilience.
Well, every human being has it. We all
Yes.
we all have resilience. We're all resourceful, tenacity. We all have that explorer in us, that adventurer in us,
Mhm.
that ability not to quit, not to
Right.
give up.
But
It's
what do you think, Tim? We all have it, but we don't all choose to use it. So for you, what do you think it was that made you say, "No, I wanna fight for my life."
Well, I'm asked this a lot. When you get into your 19th year and you're very active, not only personally in your own recovery,
Right.
in the fellowship, professionally, community, blah 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 blah. I get it. So, it's really crazy because it's one question I never had to think about, and I almost pretty much remember when I first got it asked. It came so naturally. What do you think it was? I said, I'll tell you exactly what it was. My pain outgrew my fear.
Mm,
Pain outgrew my fear because the world had me living in a state of fear all the time, and my insecurities and my lack of self-worth. And, I stole money
mhm.
from my parents again, or I did this, I did this. My addiction, when drug addicts take drugs, they make bad decisions. That's what drugs do to drug addicts. But it would trick me and tell me I'm a bad guy.
Mhm.
And I don't think I'm a bad guy.
You are not a
It
bad
was I
guy.
was a drug addict. I had that little itch. I call it that itch, and it
Mhm.
started when I didn't like how I felt. I put in, the itch went away, but I was driven by the phenomenon of craving. I couldn't stop regardless of it's insane. Drug addiction's so bad. But, drug addicts make bad decisions. So just all that pummeling, but you loser, you piece of crap, you're a horrible husband, terrible
What do you
father.
think was the one thing? What was the one thing, the big well, by the way, I have a podcast dropping tomorrow with Trisha,
Oh, great.
our friend
Yeah,
Trisha,
yeah, yeah.
and I think we talked about this in the podcast. I talked about you
Oh, wow.
in the podcast.
Wow,
I
nice.
did, because I
Awesome.
said to her, I said, "I don't know if you caught this, but when we were at the book launch at Beachway,
Yeah.
you said nothing else was working,
Yep,
and that's when you turned to God."
yep.
Do you remember you said that? I
No,
was very
no, but I'm
moved.
very present.
I was very moved by
Oh,
what you
wow.
were talking about.
Yeah, it's the truth. I love the men I meet with every Friday at 7:15 in the morning at a Starbucks, and we worship in public. We read some fun. We read scripture, and it's a beautiful thing.
It
And
really takes community. It
yeah, oh
really,
yeah.
really takes
Well,
community.
I love people. I'm
Me
a
too.
talker.
Me too.
We crank this out for an hour. I could do 4 hours of this in one shot.
I know. Me
No,
too.
no problem.
Me too.
I think we're all designed to connect,
We are.
and
That's a basic innate need of all of us.
but I'd say the enemy, mental health, other conditions, addiction, depression, anxiety, it's like the ultimate separator. It just separates us from our natural flow. And I think over time, like anything else, right? Like water will wear down anything over time. I'm not authentic to myself, or I'm thinking about what other people think. I'm yeah, full of anxiety, depressed, whatever. Over time, I think for me, my soul gets sick. when my soul's sick, my body's sick, and I'm walking around sick, and I just can't see the joy and the beauty, and all the little sayings, like, people can hold on to what our fathers told us for years, but I won't think about when somebody says, "Hey, man, maybe you want to look at it like, nothing belongs to you; it's all on loan.
Hmm.
How are you living today?"
Right.
We'll blow
Right.
that off,
Right.
but we'll still be listening. I'm 63, still listening to what my father told me when I was 8. Or if
Right.
I like you, I hugged my father 19 years ago.
Mm,
Hugged him. It was my first year of sobriety. And not that I'm sorry, Dad. It's the reality. I hated my dad for my
mm,
whole life
mhm.
until I got into recovery.
Right.
And one of my goals in my first year, because for me, like you said, it was God, and the 12 steps were just in a phenomenal. It's not an intellectual process. Everybody looks at it as it's not.
It's not.
And it will never make sense to the intellectual mind, which all of us
Well, right.
we have this, and we
Well, that's such a protection,
oh yeah,
right?
right, and we want to figure it out. I ain't doing that. so,
That was funny.
so it will never make sense to you because it's not an intellectual process; it's a spiritual process, and a spiritual process doesn't fix anything like the intellectual mind wants to do.
Right.
For me, it removed the problem. It didn't
Yeah.
fix it. It removed. It's a whole. It's And so one of my goals, it was my first sober Christmas. I was still living a sober living, and I
And
had
look
to
at
get
you
back for
now.
curfew on Sunday. They were over in the Clearwater area, Dunedin.
Mhm.
So I cruised out there on a Friday. By Sunday, I was like a mess. I was getting all tight because I knew I had to do this. And actually, my father's an Italian. He was a doctor, graduated at medical school at the University of Naples, came to Brooklyn in '53. And I would get so like close enough, but I pull back.
Right.
Oh man, I couldn't get over that line.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, no wonder he couldn't say it. It was like the hardest thing I think I did all year, that whole year.
Wow.
Go back. And then finally, at one point, my father said, "Dad, what the hell's wrong with you? You okay?" And I couldn't do it. I said, yeah, I'm just thinking I got to get back. And then that one time, man, I finally crossed it, and I hugged him.
Mm.
And I said, I felt my little wings opening up, and I said, "Dad, I love you. I'm going to miss you till the next time I see you." And here's my father in his 80s, just like your dad. I could feel him. And I said to myself, just let it out, man. But then I was like, well, what are you talking about, Tim? You could have let it out until right now. It's like you're 63.
That's right.
And I'll tell you what, Joe, it was one of the best car rides I had, and probably one of the all-time best car rides I had. I felt so.
That's so interesting you talk about it like that, how you felt like your wings opened. I almost feel like that's what it felt like when I said that to my father.
Mm,
I felt like my wings had opened. It
yeah.
was so freeing, and that was the beginning of setting
Oh,
boundaries.
yeah.
I felt like I had
Yeah.
been setting boundaries, but not like real
Yeah.
boundaries, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the reason that my father and I are where we are today is because I meant that
So
so
cool.
deeply in my soul,
Yeah. That's why it worked.
and he knew it,
That's why it worked.
and that's why it worked, because I knew I could not take anything more on, I could
Yeah.
not.
That's what I'm getting at, man. It's creative intelligence. It's beyond knowledge.
And what a
It's
gift it gave to him.
100%. It's his daughter, for God's sakes. He was just working on what he had. He
Do you
didn't.
know, at Thanksgiving, I called my dad,
Yeah.
who he was with.
Yeah.
I mean, he was with me
Yeah. Yeah.
for Thanksgiving, and I called him in the morning and I said, I just want to say I'm so grateful for the relationship
It's
that we
awesome.
have now.
So cool.
And we never really spoke like that. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, wear your sweater, it's going to rain, stay
Yeah.
home.
But you're part of him. You
You
know
know
what
what
I
I
mean?
mean?
He's part of you, like physically, and I guess atomically, if I'm saying that right. But it's just the way it is. It's that human thing, man. Y-
Yeah.
for me. I and I'm not disrespecting like worksheets and dry boards.
Well,
It,
sometimes people need that kind of stuff.
I
I
believe.
get
Yep.
that.
I'm not. That's why I
Though,
said I'm not. There's just something
but that's
about.
not the real shift.
there's something about that human transmission.
I
It's
agree.
like on a whole nother level, you know what I mean? And you can only obtain that if you or the people listening or me make the decision to change or to do something different.
Well, and I think that we have to grow. We have to go through what we go through.
100%.
I feel like so many things, there have been so many blessings.
Mm,
And again, I want to, as I say, there's been so many blessings. It's not that it hasn't been hard. And it's not that it's not sad.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
wish it did not turn out like this, but it did.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so now I've had to learn how to dance in the rain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, Tim?
Beautiful.
I say to everybody, life is challenging. We're going to be faced with challenges throughout our life,
Yeah.
and we have to learn how to roll with them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job of that.
I would
Not
say
not that I don't have
yeah, yet
some
you're using
really
your power of choice. Like you're choosing to be the best version of yourself
I'm
today.
trying.
And I think
And
that's
and
cool.
and and it is really the best version of myself is really just being authentic.
Right?
I
Yeah.
can't play anymore. I
Yeah.
just can't
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
anymore.
No, not at this stage
I
of the
don't
game.
have the energy. I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the desire. I don't want to have relationships like that
Yeah,
anymore.
I don't
I
blame
just
you.
don't want that. And
Well, it
and
steals
again, we only
time.
have so much time.
Yeah.
You just
Well,
say it steals time?
yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
I said it steals time, and you said
right.
we only have so
So
much
much
time.
time. Right. We only really have so much time. And I have to tell you, my relationships, oh my gosh. I mean,
Mm,
the things that have changed in my life since losing Adam, I know what true connection is. It is so powerful inside. Do you know
mm,
what I'm talking about?
I do.
Do you know the feeling I'm
I,
talking
I do.
about?
It's I call it freedom.
It's bigger than anything I've ever
Yep.
experienced in my life.
Yep.
Learning how to be vulnerable
Yep.
in front of people and knowing that if for some reason that's ever used against you, that I'll still be okay because I've dealt with pretty bad and I'm okay.
Yeah, but vulnerability, I think, is a different kind of hard. It's a different kind of hard, and to do it is nothing short of total empowerment.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you do make yourself vulnerable, and you're not concerned with what other people think.
I'm not.
Because this is me, I'm doing me, and if you don't like me, that's okay because I choose to be vulnerable. I have nothing to hide, I have nothing to protect, nothing. I am who I am. If you don't like it, oh well.
Yeah,
Right?
so I've had to learn I had no choice. I had to learn how to ask for help.
100%.
I had to.
It's a
I
different kind of
never.
hard.
It is that was hard. And again, it's we have to go outside our comfort zones. We cannot go around it. We have to go through it or we're never going to get there.
Correct.
That is just a matter of fact
Yep.
and
Yep.
and that's just it. And learning how to ask for help was brutal. It was brutal. And you know what? People show up.
But
People show
but it's
up
same on the flip side of that. So if I called you or somebody you knew called you, Trisha called you, you'd be there in a heartbeat.
in a minute.
You wouldn't even think about it.
In a minute. You and I have not spent that much time together, but I really like you,
Oh,
and I
thanks.
really feel like I know you, and I
Yeah.
know that you have depth and you're genuine. I mean, I don't know about you, but when you've been through the trenches, you can read people
Oh yeah.
very
Yeah, I
quickly.
could smell me a mile away.
There's that Timism again,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, well, game recognizes game and real recognizes real,
Oh my gosh, I need to start writing these down.
right? Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
make
him.
me a list. Can you make can
I got him for days,
Oh
man.
my
I got him
gosh.
for days. You want another?
Because you're a New Yorker. You're a New Yorker,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know. I've been given a gift.
I know.
You want another one?
Yes.
It's going exactly the way it's supposed to be. Otherwise, it'd be different. Everybody's like, "Oh man, back in the day." I'm like, "Look, bro, it's real simple if you want it. Actually, it's so simple, it's elusive. There's
Right.
another one.
Right.
You either use your past as an asset or a liability.
I talked about this. Yeah.
You choose.
Yeah, I am so grateful now for what And it's not like I just wanna say, and I'm not minimizing, it was more relational. It was a lot of relational
Yeah,
trauma,
yeah,
um, and and just feeling alone and not understanding connection
yeah,
and that kind of thing,
yeah,
which is really hard for somebody who really like I craved that for
yeah.
so many years, and now I feel like I have it, and I have this parent that I have this connection with, and my friends, and
That's great.
the way people are showing up for me, I never knew it was even possible. I didn't know it was possible. So that was one thing.
Yeah,
I had to learn how to ask for help. I
yeah,
had to learn how to be vulnerable
yeah.
because there was no escaping it. There was just no escaping it. I had just lost my husband by suicide, and I have 3 kids, and I have was left with a lot, and I get it. I get it.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
I'm not angry with Adam. I was talking with somebody yesterday, we were talking about suicide prevention,
Yeah,
and I said, "I don't even really like that word, prevention." I don't, and maybe people won't agree with me. This is just me, this
yeah,
is just my feeling.
yeah,
But, Adam was suffering so, 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 so bad.
yeah,
Who am I to say?
yeah,
Who am I to say where his journey should take him next? That he
yeah,
made a contract with God or whatever you wanna call it, long before I came along.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that word prevention, I don't know. It
Well, who
doesn't
are we
work
to
for
deny
me.
people of their due process in life?
That's how I feel.
Yeah, who has
That's how
that
I
kind
feel.
of
And again,
power?
I miss him.
Yeah,
It's sad. I
yeah,
feel horribly for my children,
yeah,
although I have to say
yeah.
they're rising to the occasion, like, they are really demonstrating resilience. Oh my gosh, Tim,
What?
oh my gosh, today, my
What?
little one, my senior in high school, finds out today about her first college,
Oh, sweet.
what's gonna happen, so I'll
Uh,
keep you
yeah,
posted.
yeah, cool.
Oh,
Hey, so I want to get in so people can hear like a little bio
sure.
about Jill. So give us like, so you're a licensed mental health counselor,
I'm a licensed mental health counselor,
private practice,
private practice,
author.
not yet, of
S-
my own life,
Ooh, a
author of my own
Jillianism,
life.
a Jillianism.
Chillism. I am now the author of my own life.
Ooh, but you're contemplating actually taking pen.
Well,
No, I thought you were contemplating about a book.
people have been telling me for a very long time that
Yeah,
I should write a book. And honestly, a lot of the things that go on in my life,
yeah,
you just can't write it.
yeah,
It's just crazy.
yeah.
I don't have the energy at this point
I
to write a
got you.
book.
Okay,
So I've started a podcast.
I love that.
I also want to be respectful.
Yeah,
I want to be respectful. I have children.
yeah, yeah,
I am about being authentic and living my
yeah,
truth, but
yeah,
my children did not choose for me to be on a podcast.
yeah.
And my
Gotcha.
dad is here, and I know his soul is a good soul.
Yeah.
He's a good
Yeah,
soul, but
yeah,
he,
yeah.
again, based on our
Yeah,
experiences, you have to make your choices in order to survive and to
yeah.
feel like you can
W
put one foot in front of the other. I don't even know how to say that, but
yeah,
anyway, you know what I'm trying to
yeah.
say. So, maybe one day. I wanna be respectful, and now is definitely not the time.
Area of concentration or passion, and
Really, honestly, helping people find their worth,
okay.
empowering people,
So you're
or
well-rounded. You can treat different
well, I'm
conditions
not
or
really a solution-based therapy. A therapist. I can be a solution, in a quick 3 sessions, let's
yeah,
deal with this problem.
yeah,
I mean, sure, I do that all of the time, but I really think we're doing people a disservice if they come into therapy and we're just putting a Band-Aid or,
yeah,
quick fix. I think it all starts in childhood. It
yeah,
all starts with our core
yeah,
beliefs. And I think we need to examine and explore and then challenge, right? And give
yeah,
people the tools
yeah.
to learn how to live authentically because until that happens, we're not
Do you have a certain goal? Like, is there a 12-week thing?
no,
You
no,
go until
not at
you
all.
feel and they feel that they've come a long way and they're pretty good for now,
Yeah,
and maybe
and
see you
very
once a
collaborative. And it's very
Oh, okay.
collaborative. It's very collaborative. I
Okay.
don't feel, I meet the client where they are,
Yeah.
and, I don't say, "Well, I really think you need to be in therapy for,"
Yeah,
right?
okay,
Because
yeah.
because I am self-pay.
Yeah,
I do provide a super bill. I do pro bono work.
yeah. That's cool,
I
yeah.
had to I was on insurance for a very short time, and honestly,
Oh,
I'm a very, like, laid back, easygoing person. Not a lot bothers me, especially now.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
really not a lot bothers me. But insurance, trying
yeah.
to deal with those insurance companies
It's
was honestly that was the only thing that would raise my blood pressure.
yeah,
So I try to be very mindful. I don't want to
yes.
be greedy. I believe in karma. I want to help people.
Yeah, good
It's
for you.
definitely not about the
Yeah,
money. So I try to
yeah,
do pro bono,
yeah, yeah,
when it's appropriate,
yeah.
right? And so
A true clinician,
well, yeah, my
like,
goal
a
is
true
listen,
therapist.
I don't know. I really become invested. I really care about the people
Yeah,
that I
good.
work with,
Yeah,
and I wanna see them feel better and get
succeed,
better
right?
and
Yeah,
succeed and feel like they're thriving and they
yeah,
feel free to be who
yeah.
they are, and so
And then the
I
next
will
Thanksgiving, you can be talked about at their Thanksgiving table
I will pull
in
out every
spirit.
trick out of my hat
That's awesome.
and stick with that person. I have
Yeah,
a client right now. She's a senior in high school,
awesome.
and I did go virtual as of January 1st,
Cool.
and that was really
This year?
yeah,
Yeah.
but and I will still meet people in person.
You what? You
I
what?
will still meet people in person.
Oh, it's
Though I gave up my office, but when it
yeah,
works. So I was
gotcha.
about to say I have this client in high school now.
Yeah.
She's going to be moving to Israel when she
Oh,
graduates.
wow.
And we've built a rapport
Yeah,
and
cool.
she trusts me and she feels safe with me. And I said, I want to take her at least until she graduates high school.
Yeah.
And so I meet her. I
Ah,
meet her,
nice.
sometimes I'll meet a client in the Spanish River Library in a
Yeah.
private room. It's very close to my
Uh,
house. I make it work for both of our
that's
schedules,
awesome.
right?
Yeah.
And so it works for
So you're based
everybody.
in Boca,
I am.
Boca Raton, Florida.
Boca
That's
Raton,
awesome.
yeah. So I really am into like family of
Yeah.
origin
Okay.
and bringing awareness. And one of my friends said to me yesterday, she said, "Oh, she's gonna be mad that she has to do that for me," or something like that. And I
Yeah.
said, "Who taught you that you were a burden?
Yeah.
Who taught you?" And my friend was like, "Oh, I need to think about that." I go right in.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
very direct,
Yeah,
but I'm
good.
very
Respectful, though.
but very
Yeah.
respectful,
But
very
that's the 1-2
respectful.
combo. It's the best combo. Direct but respectful.
Well, first of all, again, it's not cheap, and I want people to start living
Yeah,
their
they're like investing
truth.
in themselves and investing in
Exactly.
you, like,
Right.
that you can help them move
Right.
forward. Yeah, I get it. How long have you been
A therapist
yeah,
since the 90s.
for real?
Since
Oh,
the
man,
90s I got
talk
yeah.
about seasoned.
Yeah.
Woo.
I was
I love it.
licensed in the 90s,
Wow. Okay,
right?
yeah,
And
nice.
I started in addiction and
Yeah,
I do you know Spectrum?
I do.
You do?
Spectrum, like the
Yeah.
facility
Uh-huh.
Spectrum? Yeah, I
Right.
remember yeah.
So I worked there in the
Oh
90s with
my god.
David Ochman. Can you believe that? You know David,
I'm
right?
trying to pull that.
Life Skills.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is such a funny story too. So I worked with him at Spectrum
Yeah,
before I was even married,
yeah,
and I got married in 1999. And I met David, and I worked there. I got my licensure hours. I got licensed, and I started my work in addiction. And I worked with lawyers and
yeah,
with the court system, and for people who uh, needed therapy as part of their probation. I would do drug and alcohol
yeah,
assessments and all of that. And then, of course, you cannot work in addiction and not work with trauma.
correct.
So I think my sweet spot is complex
Mhm.
PTSD, right? And working with people who have become people pleasers and who are like ACOA, adult child of
Yeah,
alcoholics, but not necessarily alcoholic, but dysfunctional
yeah,
families.
yeah,
And who doesn't have that?
I know, right?
Right, who does not have that? So then I was in private practice for many years. I moved to Boston for
Yeah.
5 years, and then I worked at the Watershed.
Oh, wow.
It was 2008
Yeah,
and it was the market crash,
yeah,
and my husband was working in the financial industry as a consultant, and our lives changed in a minute. And
yeah,
actually, his mother was diagnosed with cancer the day after the market crash. I mean, my poor husband, like his whole livelihood,
Yeah.
our entire how paying the bills, and then his mother, it was all an
Yeah.
awful time.
Tough.
So I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna just get a job so we can have good insurance.
Yeah.
And I went on, I didn't know anything about this, right? This was such a different time. When I started in the industry, there was no Facebook, there was no networking. People did,
Yeah.
it was so incredibly different.
Yeah.
So
Sure it was.
I went on the computer and I saw there was an interview at the Watershed, a job opening. And I emailed right away, and I was in the next day meeting with, I think her name was Millman. Am I right?
You're right.
Am I right? Millman? And I
Yeah.
went to the Boynton
Yeah.
location, and somebody opened the door for me, and I go, "Thank you," and it's David Ochman.
Oh my gosh. Oh
It
wow.
was the craziest thing.
Wow.
I hadn't seen him since Spectrum.
Oh wow.
So I worked there for a couple
Yeah.
years, and, in Boynton and then in Boca with some great people, and it was like boot camp.
Yeah.
It was like boot
Yeah.
camp. It wasn't, I mean, it was fine. I had just had and I also had a daughter born in 2008. It
Uh,
was a very interesting year for us.
yeah. Yeah.
And I was very, like, I'm really good with time management,
Yeah.
and I was at the time very organized. Again, my brain has changed
Yeah.
dramatically since Adam died.
Yeah.
I actually want to go do a brain scan with Crystal.
Oh yeah.
You know
Yeah.
Crystal, right?
Yeah.
And, because I believe in neuroplasticity and being mindful, and I can do the exercises. I'm actually, I think, gonna start learning Mahjong, not because I really want to,
Yeah.
but because I think we have to do those kind of things for our brain, right?
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah. 100%.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah. Oh, and then in the midst of all that, so when I was working at the Watershed, I got my CAP, Certified Addiction Professional,
Professional. Yeah.
and then years and years ago, I became trained in EMDR long before Stoneman Douglas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. After I left the Watershed, I worked for a group for a couple of years. That's when I was on insurance. I left. I was still on the insurance panels. And then I was like, no, I
Yeah.
can't
So.
serve my clients. I cannot serve my clients the way that I want to serve them
Yeah.
when I'm having to follow the hoops, jump through the
Well,
hoops
they
of the
tell you that.
insurance company. Yeah, I
They
couldn't
tell you
do
that in
that.
your therapy.
Yeah, I thought it was such a disservice to everybody. And it really is a time, it's a time, I mean, it's so many hours you could sit on the phone with the insurance
Oh, it's
companies.
ridiculous.
So yeah, so I got certified, and then I was working, I love EMDR. I think it's
Mm.
amazing. And then somewhere along the way there, many, many years ago, I also got trained and certified in hypnotherapy. So I like, obviously I do a
Yeah.
lot of talk therapy,
Okay.
but I introduce EMDR and
Nice.
hypnotherapy, and I use them, in sync all
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
really beautiful. And so I have a lot of clients who come to me just for phobias and fears, and can you just do EMDR for me?
Yeah.
Fear of flying, fear of blood, fear of whatever. I also do it for complex trauma. I do it for grief, and also hypnotherapy.
It's awesome.
I never got to say goodbye. In hypnotherapy, we
Yeah.
go there,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful. It's
Wow.
really
Talk
beautiful.
about hitting the jackpot
And
with Jill. Jeez. You know what I mean?
I have
Holy
to
cow.
I have to say, this is why I can't stop. I love what I do.
Yeah, don't stop. We need you out there. There's too
I
many
love
people
what I
hurting.
do.
Yeah.
And people, I was just going to say that people need it. It is
Yeah.
a hard time. It is a hard, hard time. And we have to learn how to dance in the rain and learn what's in our control and what is not in our
Yeah.
control.
Blessed. Now you
Yeah.
know why I'm blessed. I say I'm blessed. I got friends like this that are out there slaying it. Hey, we've killed the
I don't even
top.
know
It's amazing. Poof. So
what.
I got to start wrapping it up. So, any last, real quick, any like last
No,
things
I
that?
just think you're super cool.
Oh
I
wow!
can't wait to have
Hey,
you on my podcast.
yeah, let's do it.
Honestly, going back to connection and what I was saying before, we have not spent a lot of time together.
Yeah,
But if you called me or if I called you,
yeah.
I know that you would be there in a minute because I know you.
It's the right.
I know your heart. I know you.
It's the right thing to do. Somebody was there for me.
Thank God. Thank God for
Thank
that
for
person.
sure.
Thank you. whoever that
It was
was,
this
because
Marine I met at Camp Lejeune
we
in North Carolina. I was like a
we
young
need
20,
you.
I think. Ah.
I have so many questions for you. So
I
that's
got
why I know you're here asking me a question, but so I'm going to save that for my podcast. I'll ask you one of your
Yeah,
questions
yeah.
because you are doing incredible things.
So are you. That's why we were put together.
Well,
Look, man, bottom line is you attract what you know. I know you know that
I
as
know.
a clinician.
I do know that.
And we teach people why do you know that person or why are these people?
But I want to say something about that. You attract, say it again. Say what you just
I
said.
just say I keep it. I'm a simple guy, man. You
So
attract what you know.
you attract what you know.
Yeah,
And when I didn't know my worth,
yeah,
I was attracting people
yep,
who didn't know their worth.
100%.
And now that I know my worth, that's how I've been able to build the connections that I have since I've learned my worth.
100%. It's always available. It's like electricity. It's always there.
It is available. I
Yeah, we
want
just
people
have.
to know that. Are
Yeah,
y'all listening? I want y'all to know that you're all worthy and it's in there. No
yeah.
matter what people told you
No
or
matter
no
what.
matter how you were treated, it's there. You are inherently worthy.
Correct. The thought from other people doesn't necessarily mean that's what it is. A thought.
It's normally
A
not what it
thought
is.
doesn't necessarily mean
Right.
what it is. Hey, how would they get in touch with you? Can somebody get? I don't know. We're after
Okay.
that one person, so maybe
All right. So
what's the best way?
you can go to my website, Jill Bershad, easy, www.jillbershad.com. You can listen to my podcast,
How you spelling the Birch?
Bershad,
Bershad.
Bershad. You can contact
Bershad.
me through there
Mm,
by text, phone. I'm on
Okay.
Psychology Today, although I'm not so sure I'm going to stick with that,
Okay. And
but
you're
I'm
all you're
around.
on social
I'm
media.
on social media,
Reach out.
and I'm also licensed in New York, and
I love it.
I do really want to, I was trying to get, I'm like a lifelong learner and I love, I'm just excited
Yeah.
about life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I want to start doing my sound healing. I got certified in that, in sound healing, because that was a big part of
Awesome.
my healing. And I really want to start this group, a, sup- um, a self-love group for women.
Nice.
I think it's so imperative, but I was just trying to get my podcast started. So if anybody's interested,
Reach out.
that's my stuff. That's my jam.
I'm Tim Roberto. You can find me anywhere out there. Just whatever. Google me, social media, call Jill, ask, how do I get in touch? I'm easy peasy. My email is tim.r@beachway.com. Jill, thank you for coming.
Thank
Thank you
you,
for sharing
Tim.
your time with us.
I loved it. Thank
Yeah,
you
me,
so
me
much.
too. We burned the time. I went like that, and that's always a good sign.
How long was that? That was so quick.
It was quick. So, hey, until next time, peace and love.